Hello from Seoul. Let me get straight to the point. I hate the name fish cake. Fish cake? Is that a cake made of fish? That doesn't sound appetizing at all, right? But trust me, despite the name, it's one of the most delicious ingredients in history. And by the end of this video, you're gonna meet one of the greatest Korean side dishes of all time. Today, we're gonna be making 어묵볶음, Korean stir-fried fish cakes. Yes, this legendary Korean side dish is the one you always see at Korean restaurants. But like always, I'm not gonna show you just one. We're gonna be making two different versions. You're already excited, right? Since both of them are so easy and delicious, you will see yourself making this dish every single week. I guarantee it. Alright, let's start with the soy sauce version. For this, you will need some fish cakes, green onions, and onion. That's it! So simple, right? But I'm gonna be using some mild chilies for a little bit of heat and vibrant color. Trust me, this little extra effort will pay off at the end. But as always, totally optional. First, take 300 grams of Korean fish cakes and cut them into nice bite-sized pieces. I'm just gonna cut them in half lengthwise and then cut them into half-inch pieces. But you could also cut them into like triangles or even noodle shapes. That's gonna be awesome too. And besides these square-shaped fish cakes, stick-shaped or even bowl-shaped ones work great for this recipe. So just use what you have on hand. Everything will turn out fantastic. Next, take 2 green onions and thinly slice them. And then make sure you separate the whites and greens. Once that's done, thinly slice half an onion and green and red chilies. For information, the spicy version we'll be making later will need the exact same ingredients. So if you're planning to make both versions and store them in your fridge for your meal prep, then you can simply double the ingredients and split them in half. Alright, now let's make the sauce. In a small container, add 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, half a tablespoon of oyster sauce, half a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, some black pepper, 2 tablespoons of water, and give it a good mix. That's it! So simple, right? There's no reason not to try. By the way, we have all the instructions and a list of ingredients on our blog, aaronandclaire.com. So please visit here if you need a written recipe. Alright, all the prep is done. Let's get cooking. In a large wok or pan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and heat it over medium heat. Once it gets nice and hot, add the white parts of the green onions, and saute those for about 1 minute. When the onions are starting to soften and you can smell the amazing aroma, add the fish cakes and stir fry them for about 2 minutes. And just so you know, fish cakes are like deep-fried fish paste with some flour and seasonings, which means there's still a little bit of oil on the surface, so you don't need to use much oil when you're stir-frying. But if you want to remove some of that oil and enjoy more lighter or cleaner taste, then blanching them in hot water would be a good option. But in my opinion, I think that little bit of oil adds more flavor and I don't want it to get mushy, so I'm just gonna use them as is. What? You wanna know this kind of tip more and more? I'm so glad you brought that up, because everything you need is in this one book. Trust me, with this one book, you can cook more than 100 Korean dishes like a pro, so don't forget to check it out. The link is in the description. Once the fish cakes are lightly browned, add the green and red chilies, sauce, and stir fry them for about 2 minutes or until most of the liquid has evaporated. So simple, right? From now on, with this recipe, you can make this delicious Korean side dish anytime at home. Alright, we're almost there. Let's turn the heat off and add the remaining green onions, 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, and mix it well. Now, give it a quick taste and add some more soy sauce if needed, but mine tastes perfect to me, so I'll just stick with this. Alright, our soy sauce version is done. Let's transfer them to a serving plate and finish it up with a generous amount of toasted sesame seeds. How does it look? It looks absolutely gorgeous, right? For information, this dish tastes so much better when it's freshly made, which means it's gonna be like 10 times better than the one you'd get at a restaurant. So I really want you to give this a try at home. Trust me, you won't regret it. Alright, let's move on to the spicy version. Like I said earlier, the prep work is the same as the previous one. So let's just go straight into the sauce. In a small container, add 1.5 tablespoons of gochugaru, Korean chili pepper flakes, 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, half a tablespoon of oyster sauce, half a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, some black pepper, 2 tablespoons of water, and give it a good mix. For the chili pepper flakes, if you're using fine gochugaru like mine, it will make the dish more beautiful. But regular Korean chili pepper flakes like coarse gochugaru will work just fine. So like I always say, just use what you have on hand. Everything will turn out fantastic. By the way, if the soy sauce version cools down, Claire's gonna be mad at me. So let's just start cooking. In a large wok or pan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and heat it over medium heat. Once it's heated, add the white parts of the green onions, and saute those for about 1 minute. When the onions are starting to soften, add our lovely fish cakes and stir fry them for about 2 minutes. Once they are lightly browned, here and there, add the chilies and the sauce. Now all we need to do is just stir fry them for about 2 minutes or until everything is nicely coated. That's it, couldn't be any easier, right? Alright, turn the heat off, add the green onions, 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, and give it a final mix. Again, it looks beautiful, right? Alright, let's place them on a serving plate and sprinkle with a generous amount of toasted sesame seeds. You wanna know how it tastes? Alright, let's go to our taste tester.
Claire. 반찬 2개라니. It's a lucky day. Let's give it a try. 남은 건 반찬통에 덜어놨다가 일주일 내내 먹어야 되니까 좀 덜어 먹겠어. 이 정도. 맛있겠다. 군침이 도는 거. 반찬 is nothing fancy, but it's gonna be super comforting and delicious. Cheers! 맛있다. 역시 집에서 막 해가지고 갓 해가지고 먹으니까 너무 맛있어. 소스가 너무 과하지 않아서 어묵 자체의 맛을 그냥 잘 끌어주는 그런 느낌이야. 양파가 아삭아삭 씹히는 게 너무 맛있네. 양파 좋아하는 사람은 좀 더 넣어도 되겠어. 너무 맛있어. 맛있다 맛있다. 이것도 한번 먹어볼까? 별 차이 없을 것 같기는 한데 그래도 보기에는 매우 보이니까 얼마나 매운지가 좀 궁금하긴 하다. You don't have to eat just one piece at a time. You can just grab a generous amount of it. It's gonna be more delicious. Cheers! 맛있어. 여전히 맛있어. 나는 매운 음식을 좋아하는 사람이라서 그런지 약간의 그 휘시 또 한 번 그렇게 맛있게 끌어주는 그런 요소로 작용하는 것 같아. 맛은 거의 똑같아. 이거 진짜 취향의 문제야. 난 그리고 솔직히 근데 이거 너무 맛있어. 이거 먹으니까 밥을 술술 부른다. 밥이랑 먹어볼게요. 여기다가 뭐 후라이나 김치 혹은 김 이런 거 하나만 딱딱딱 놔줘서 먹으면 정말 너무 맛있을 것 같다. 자, 이제 본격적으로 즐길 수 있게 김치랑 계란 후라이랑 김이랑 가져와봐. Bring all of them. Hope you guys try. Bye.
Today, I showed you how to make 어묵볶음, one of our all-time favorite Korean side dishes. How was it? Super easy and simple to make, right? But that's not all. It's budget-friendly and full of umami, and you can even store it in the fridge for up to 5 days. It sounds like the perfect dish you can enjoy every day, right? So please give it a try. If you do, just like many Korean households, you will stock it in your fridge every week because it's too delicious. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.